Hola, bienvenidos. I'm Eduardo Vilaro, the Artistic Director and CEO of Ballet Hispánico, and welcome to our Diálogos. The Diálogos are our forums where we have conversations on race, social justice, and dance. In a little bit, you'll be hearing from our dancers who have been on the road since October, occasionally stopping back home as we prepare for our April premiere of the full evening length work of Doña Perón. I'm certainly excited, they're excited, and we can't wait for you to see it. And now, I will turn things over to my friend and colleague, Tamia Santana, who is our Chief Engagement and Inclusion Officer. Que disfruten.
Thank you, Eduardo, and welcome to our Diálogos. Today, we are featuring our dancers on tour, and we're really excited to have you meet them all. Let's start with their names, and please tell us your name.
Omar Rivera.
Amanda Del Valle.
Corey Lewis.
Mariano Zamora Gonzalez.
Simone Camaresi.
Chris Bloom.
And now we're going to go through some quick fire questions, which are a lot of fun. We just want to get to know the dancers, and we know you guys have burning questions to see what they're all about. So, we're just going to spit some off. Let's start with, where were you born?
Mission Hills, California.
Miami, Florida.
New Orleans, Louisiana.
San Jose, Costa Rica.
Italy.
Westchester, Pennsylvania.
And what age did you start dancing?
12.
4.
12.
11.
11.
14.
Favorite style of dance?
Jazz funk.
Contemporary ballet.
Classical modern.
Contemporary ballet.
Contemporary.
Favorite post-performance snack or meal?
Burger and a beer.
Coconut water.
Pedialyte.
Bananas.
A nice salmon.
Dark chocolate and red wine.
Last job you had before joining Ballet Hispánico?
Parsons Dance.
Full-time student.
Dance teacher.
Gymnastic teacher.
Dimensions Dance Theater of Miami.
Dance teacher.
Turned out or turned in?
Turned in.
Turned out.
Turned in.
Turned out.
Turned in.
Out.
Okay. Now we're going to get a little bit more deeper because I know people are dying to hear what your takeaway and how this process has been for Doña Perón that's happening at City Center. So we'll start from over here, but what's the most memorable moment of being a part of Doña Perón for you?
For me, it was creating the Malambo section with Annabelle over Zoom. It was a style and genre that we've never touched, but somehow we pieced it together in like an hour or two. So it was really cool to see how it came together, and we created something really cool.
Wow.
For me, it was kind of a whole circle moment because I worked with Annabelle in high school, and I just learned her piece, and it was like not collaborative at all. It was just me learning the choreography, and then coming here and being able to be part of the choreographic process was just very, very cool and interesting for me.
I love every time, like when Annabelle's in the space with us, she, after the weekend, she goes back to her team over the weekend. There's a whole artistic team behind this whole piece. And then the next Monday she comes back with all these different changes and all these new notes. And the order changes, and that's usually my favorite part.
I would have to say the partnering. I love partnering, and she always does such a good job of making things so intricate and smooth, and it was just such a nice challenge to be able to work on that.
You know, you guys are talking so much about Annabelle, and people have so many questions. We'd like to just dive a little bit deeper and ask you, what is it like working with Annabelle Lopez Ochoa?
It's exhilarating because it is fast. She may be the fastest creator I have ever worked with in my entire life. She comes in knowing exactly the vision and usually none of the steps. So she doesn't come in with everything prepared. She comes in to work with you, to collaborate with you, to feed off your energy, to see what you offer, and to build off of it.
Yeah, same thing. Super, super fast, probably. It was very overwhelming for me because this was my first process at Ballet Hispánico, so it was really hit the ground running kind of thing. And she's also very thoughtful and personal about her movement. Like Chris was saying, she makes it as she goes, and she uses the body she has and the personality she has in the room with her.
It's very energetic. Yeah, I agree with my peers. this was also my first process with Annabelle, and I loved every second of it. I am more used to the energetic and quick pace, which I love. It, keeps me on my toes, keeps things moving. You're always doing something. You're always just fully engaged, and I think that's the best part of it.
Yeah, for me, it's a time of exploration, because she's someone that knows exactly what she wants, but at the same time, when she's in a space and if a certain dancer does something differently but she likes it, she'll be like, ooh, I want to do like that. Or she'll come in and she'll have her whole choreography set, but she's like, let's try this, and let's like be off balance, and let's try to go the other direction. So she really explores with the dancers in the space, which makes it extremely collaborative. And she knows what she wants, but she's also really open to working with the bodies in the space.
That must have been a really wonderful experience for all of you. After learning this piece, what have you personally learned about Evita?
I didn't know much about Evita, but to know the pain that she endured and all the struggles and how much she had to go through, and the passion she had for her people just shows you how important she is in history, for women in general, but just in history itself.
Yeah.
I've learned everything I know about her through this process and through Annabelle and all the information she's given us and all the contacts we've gotten. But I think one thing that's really stuck out for me about Evita is just the lesson that no matter how much you do for your people and how much good you think you're doing, like, not everyone will always love you, no matter how good your intentions are, or what you think you're giving. So
It's an important lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I learned everything through this process as well, and I think it's so interesting how somebody can be so misrepresented at times and misunderstood, and I think this piece really shows many different aspects of her life and her personality, and I think it's really interesting to see all the sides of her and not just a certain way. So, yeah.
Similarly to my colleagues, I knew next to nothing about this person prior to this process. And so it's been extremely rich to get a chance to learn about this historic figure. The takeaway, I think the biggest thing that I've learned is about power. Who wants it, who gets it, how you get it.
Now we will take it away to watch a day in the life of our dancers on tour. amazing seeing all the work that they put on tour, and it's just so much fun. Our dancers are so talented, and we're so proud to have them. We have our second group of dancers here who are going to introduce themselves, and then we're going to go to our rapid quick-fire questions. So let's start over here with your name.
Renee Wilkerson.
Antonio Canjano.
Hello, my name is Laura Lopez.
I'm Jared Bogart.
Gabrielle Sprague.
I'm Alex Sakia.
Okay, we're going through our quick-fire questions. Where were you born?
Washington, D.C.
Naples, Italy.
Miami, Florida.
Gainesville, Florida.
Jamaica, Queens, New York.
Hackensack, New Jersey.
What age did you start dancing?
15.
I was 3 years old.
About 3 years old.
I was 4 years old.
I was 16.
2.
Favorite style of dance?
Ballet.
Latin.
Latin as well.
Contemporary.
Favorite post-performance meal or snack?
Pizza.
Apples, peanut butter.
Pasta.
Burgers.
Most used emoji?
Hard eyes.
Kiss.
Happy face.
The muscle.
A brown heart.
The laughing, crying emoji.
Okay, now we're going to get a little bit deeper with the work that we've been doing with Doña Perón and your experience and your insight into it. The first question that we want to know is, how do you envision this story will resonate differently as it travels through different cities and different countries?
I enjoy the fact that she was someone that was idolized, but also wasn't liked by many. So depending on people's association with womanhood and women in power, I think it's going to affect the crowd differently.
Connect with Wolani since she was such an icon woman and a woman that would have done everything to get where she wanted it. Some people can judge her in a wrong way. Some other people say, you know, to get what you want to get, you got to do what you got to do. So I think it resonates with the perspective of women, how women see it.
Yeah, to piggyback off of that, I think also because we're telling a story not only about Evita kind of in her prime, but also from childhood to her prime to her death, like being able to see her transformation. We don't really know someone's story who's big like that, and we don't really think about like their childhood and how that kind of adds to their life story and what they're trying to do in the world. So I think it'll be interesting, like as dancers and from the choreographer's perspective, like the acting that has to go from beginning to end, and after seeing it a couple of times, like how that will resonate and maybe even change.
Yeah, so to piggyback on what Gabby said, we'd like to hear a little bit more about how you prepared for this role as an actor as well as a dancer.
Yeah, well, we did certain acting activities. We did one with a chair. We also wrote our own passages, like what do we think the piece means to us. So I think we had to do a lot of personal work to really understand, you know, who's my character. A lot of us who were on ensemble had to create our own character. And it also took a lot of cooperation and communication between each other. How do we relate and communicate, cooperate with each other in space? Yeah.
Yeah, and we're still, I would say we're still discovering those acting moments and how to grow in them, because we have to be not just one character, but we have to be like many different characters. We have very fast, quick changes, so you only have a second to kind of switch from Descamisado to all of a sudden, you know, I'm an oligarch and I have to kind of have this stuffy, like hoity-toity thing about me, and then I have to go back to Descamisado. So it's definitely something we're still discovering and growing in. And I think the exciting part about live performance is that you grow in it each time you do it, especially on stage in front of an audience, and you begin to discover how you can tap into those characters in a different way and very quickly.
Yeah, similar to what everybody has said. I also use the inspiration of Anita Perón herself as she's dancing, because there are a lot of times where the Descamisados are on the side and we're witnessing her as her, I guess, from childhood into adulthood. We see her progression grow, and that gives me inspiration and more clarity as to what my character is and what my position is in this like story per se. But in preparation for the piece, I definitely closed my eyes and kind of go through like a list of things that what Alex has said, some of like the acting activities that we went over, and also like my personal story of like how I perceive Evita Perón, and that way I can kind of like tune into what I'm going to be in each scene.
There's a lot of time that we have to spend either on the side or at home thinking about all of the things that my peers are saying, how you can dig deeper, how you can develop that character, even a backstory as to maybe your association to her as a descamisado as well. That's something that I've been thinking about recently, because we had someone come in to watch the piece with fresh eyes and tell us, you know, maybe you're someone who is in support of her, but maybe your husband might not be. And what is that dynamic like as a descamisado? So that's a story that I'm thinking of right now, of how can I dig deeper? We're not all homogenous, and we're not all, you know, going to approach it similarly, even though we're doing the same collective ensemble work. So just going home and digging deeper and finding that character for yourself.
Sounds like there's a lot of personal growth happening in the room with you and your journeys, as well as dancers. So that's amazing. Not every experience with a choreographer allows you that, right? Because they need their vision to be seen. But this sounds real. This sounds like it's been an amazing journey. So we're so grateful to have Mark Eric, who is such a talented costume designer. And I know people are dying to know, what's your favorite costume?
For me, it's this shirt that is making for descamisados, and it's, you know, the sequence and the shape is so interesting, and it makes the body look really good. So I'm really, really excited to wear that.
Yeah, I like the descamisado shirt. It's like very light and, you know, flowy, and it just, when I thought of like what those people are going through, when I saw that shirt, I was like, that's like fit perfect. So I thought it got me excited.
My favorite is descamisado too. I think mainly because the shape of it and the design is so smart of what we're portraying, and I personally love when someone makes something that I can also dance in and feel good dancing in, because it doesn't happen all the time that like you get to wear something on stage and you actually feel like amazing in it, like it can move with you. And that's something very important as dancers, like that we have that ability. And I think he did such an amazing job at designing something that's so flattering to our bodies, is also portraying the characters that we're supposed to be, and feels so good for us to dance and move in. So I think, yeah, that's definitely my favorite too.
I'm really taken aback at not only are these concert dance costumes, but how fashion forward it is. It's so exciting to see the two worlds meet. Okay, thank you guys so much. It was great having you. We'll see you at City Center.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Isn't it amazing just to see all the work that has gone into Doña Perón? I am here with my third group of dancers. We're so excited to meet them. Let's learn their name, and then we'll go right into our quick fire.
Leonardo Brito, Shelby Colonna.
Hugo Pisano Orozco.
Dandara Veiga.
Paulo Hernandez Farella.
And where are you from?
I'm from Los Angeles, California.
Alegrete, Rio Grande do Sul, Brasil.
Guanajuato, Mexico.
Houston, Texas.
Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
What age did you start dancing?
14, 15.
3.
14.
13.
12.
Favorite style of dance or genre?
Samba.
Contemporary modern.
Contemporary.
Last job you had before joining Ballet Hispánico?
I'm still in college.
I was in school.
Yeah, I was also in school, but I worked in admissions. So.
Morning person or night owl?
Night owl, 100%.
Morning person.
Night owl.
Both.
I'm a night guy.
Favorite childhood toy?
Skip It or Bop It Extreme.
My gigantic stuffed dragon named Pepe.
Adagio or Petit Allegro?
Adagio.
Petite
Adagio.
Adagio.
Turned in or turned out?
It turned out.
Both.
Turned out.
Turned in.
Depends on the angle.
Right?
So we're going to go a little bit deeper and would love to hear more about your process in Doña Perón. What do you hope audience members will take away from this premiere ballet?
I think that the audience will take away a different perspective of Evita, but hopefully overall just seeing not just about her, but about the community that surrounded her. Whether it was good, bad, ugly, pretty, whichever, I hope that they walk away with that knowledge.
I hope they take away the power of this person, that what she brought to the community, and I hope also that they get to live through the situations, because it was not just the good things that that we are trying to present. So live through the situations that we presented in this performance.
It's been said, but I hope that as an audience member comes into the show, they have no expectations and leave with a full understanding of this woman who basically changed Argentina. And it's very exciting to be a company putting that forward through dance. So it's going to be a perspective unlike any other. Very exciting.
I would say the power of representation throughout the entire piece. When I come to rehearsal, when I see everyone, especially the people who have been playing Evita, I see the power that they have, especially as women of color, being able to stand on a stage by themselves and bring a room to silence. I think they'll take that away and say, yeah, you know what? People of color are valuable. We are valuable. We exist. And now we're seeing that on the stage, on a major stage in New York.
That's a great way to end it, and that's really amazing to think about. Personally, we want to dig a little bit deeper. So what was the most difficult part of dancing in this piece, and how did you overcome it?
Specifically for me, I think the most difficult thing is actually not even necessarily on the stage, it's also part off the stage. We have a lot of quick changes. We're going to be going on and off this stage. There's not a moment to stop thinking in this process and in this piece. When you start the story, when you start the ballet, you are a part of this world and you are a part of the story. So as soon as you're off stage, you're still in character and you're putting on a costume and you're getting into another character.
It was also a challenge for me, the change of costumes that also happened in the stage. So how to make that look graceful, all the changes, the quick changes, and go back to the next choreography. And also the acting, which I'm really enjoying the part of being thinking of the acting and not just my technique. Especially when there's a part of the rejection on this piece for her, and deal through these emotions and trying to bring a bit of my experiences to add to this character. So that was a nice challenge for me.
I think it's an eye-opener for people to realize how much acting has to do with concert dance. When people's perception of dance, they think of smiling people all the time, or maybe sort of a downtown, very sad all the time. But I think people are going to be able to see the level changes and the depth, and it's very exciting.
Yes.
You guys are doing a great job.
I think the most difficult thing for me was coming into the company when the piece was basically completed and coming in and stepping into just this beast that is Doña Perón and having to work my way through it. And now I'm dealing with the same thing that Paulo brought up with the character switches on stage, off stage, and just having the gears turn 24/7 and trying to keep up with the pacing of the piece. But I'd say I created characters for each little tunnel on stage, and it's really helped me maneuver my way through it thus far.
For me, because I came from Brazil just like a month ago, it's the most challenging part is having the movement on my body, right? So I'm not like thinking as much or like stressed trying to remember the step. And all the changes, when to go on stage barefoot, or when to have socks and shoes and cloth, you know, all of that. So it's also haven't overcome it yet, but I'll get there soon.
If you could talk to young girls about 6 to 9 years old out there watching this ballet for the first time, what do you hope that they will resonate watching Evita, Doña Perón?
I think if they aspire to be dancer, they would take a lot of like how versatile as dancers we must be. Like the piece showcases a lot of sections that are maybe a little bit more balletic, or others there just need to be grounded, and then we have almost like a hip hop kind of section. So I think, you know, just watching it and like, oh, I gotta do these, and that, you know, and taking all of those different classes.
I'm gonna turn it in a kind of different way. I hope that young girls really see the power in what one woman can do. I think in our world, especially for me growing up, I don't think that there were a lot of lead women, especially politically. You know, there weren't many growing up, and you know, even though, I mean, I didn't know much about Evita Perón when I was younger, obviously a different country, but I hope that these young girls see that they can make a difference, whether it is on the stage, interpreting someone and their story and the history, or whether or not it's they see this woman that they might not know about, and they're like, wow, this person is a real person. They did all of these things to help all of these people. I mean, some people feel differently, you know, whether or not she helped or did not. But she did, in my opinion, make a huge change for Argentina. And I hope that they can see that it is possible for them to do that as well, especially now that we're in 2022.
Yeah, as Shelby said, I hope that these little girls could take away some inspiration of the power of this woman, and see that you can overcome many difficulties, challenges, but you can also still reach your goals, whatever you put your mind into it.
I would like to also add that there's a community for everyone. I'm a big community-based person, and I hope people watch this and realize that there's a place for them. Because for so long, so many people at such young ages don't see that. They might be stuck somewhere and only know what's around them. So I hope that they see clips, videos, something on YouTube, something on Facebook, and realize, oh, there's so much more out there. There's people who look like me. There are people that talk like me. There are people that act like me. There are people that dress like me. And you see that in this production. You see everything in this production. And I think it'll inspire people to find their place, because everyone belongs somewhere.
This has been so amazing getting to know all of you and your fellow company members. We will see you all at City Center, and we're going to say goodbye in whatever language you'd like to say goodbye. Count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Adios.
Ciao!